to my channel, or welcome to it if you've never been here. My name is Amy and I make lifestyle videos. Today I have 3 easy and healthy recipes to share with you, and I'm actually partnering with HelloFresh on this video, which I freaking love. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, it's a meal subscription service that delivers 3 easy and healthy meals to your front door. It comes in this really cool insulated cooling box that keeps everything cool and fresh so you don't have to worry about it if you're at work. And all 3 of the meals are just split up into these smaller boxes that you just pop in the fridge and pull them out when you're ready to make the meal. It has everything you could need inside that box, pre-measured out ingredients, which I think is really cool because nothing goes to waste. Comes with these nice big cards that tell you how to do things, what order to do them in. There are 3 types of boxes you could get. There's the veggie box, the regular box, which is what me and Bradley got, and then the family box, which just feeds a little bit more. You just go to HelloFresh.com and pick your meals, and it's that easy. I have $30 off your first box with my code AmyLynn30, which is really exciting and very helpful. And I just really loved this service. I had so much fun making these. Me and Bradley were so upset when they were over. I've already remade 2 of the things I learned how to make in this video or this round of recipes, so I'm really excited. I think it's really fun to learn new recipes, learn new techniques that you can carry on to some of your other cooking. But okay, without further ado, let's hop into the recipes, and here we go! Okay, so first up for breakfast or brunch, we have the sweet and savory plum flatbreads. All you're gonna need is some arugula, some honey, some almond slices, 2 plums, a red onion, some balsamic vinegar, which this one was pomegranate flavored, some ricotta cheese, which is my favorite cheese, and of course your flatbreads. So you're gonna start by putting your oven on high broil, and you're going to peel and slice your onion. We're just kind of cutting ours into these like crescent half moon shapes, and then we're breaking it apart, and then we're going to coat all of it with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and then toss it all together with your hands. But after you toss it all together, make sure you spread it out evenly on the baking sheet so that everything gets a good even cook, if you will. So after that, we're gonna pop it into the oven, and it's supposed to broil for 8 minutes total, but you flip it or toss it halfway. So I'm gonna start with 4 minutes, half of 8, go me. So then we are going to slice our plums. I'm kind of just slicing around the core. Turns out I don't know how to de-pit a plum, so I'm just slicing around it. So I'm just gonna do that and prep it for grilling, and by the time I was done with that, it was time to toss my onions. So that's exactly what I'm doing, and this was probably my favorite part of the pizza, was the charred onions. They are so good. So I'm just tossing those around, and I'm going to pop it back in the oven for another 4 minutes until they're completely done. Now we are going to grill, if you will, our plums, and you're just going to put them meat side down, and you just kind of want to let them get a little bit of a grill situation, which only takes like 2 to 3 minutes, so I wouldn't walk away. But once they look like this and they have a little bit of a brown charred look to them, you're going to take them off and let them cool. And by the time I was done with that, the onions were also done. My mouth is literally watering looking at these onions, but I'm going to take them off of the sheet tray and put them in a small bowl to cool, because I need this pan, because I'm going to be taking my flatbreads and drizzling them with some olive oil and then just rubbing it in. I'm using one of these little rubber brush thingies, just making sure every corner is hit with the olive oil, and then I'm going to put them back onto that same sheet tray with the juicy onion flavor. And you're going to broil them for 2 to 3 minutes per side. My oven gets kind of hot on high broil, so I only did 2, but after that, take it out and flip it around, and then you're going to pop it back in the oven to broil again on the other side for another 2 minutes until they're crispy and ready. And then while that is cooling, I'm going to slice my plums and just get everything prepped to build my pizza. And I'm also going to be making the arugula salad / topping. So I'm just taking the arugula, putting it in a bowl, and putting about a tablespoon of the pomegranate balsamic vinegar in, and some salt and pepper, and then I'm just going to toss that all together, which I clearly should have used a bigger bowl. That's kind of a theme in this video, but it's okay. So I'm just tossing that all together, and then it's time to assemble. Once they're cooled, I'm spreading the ricotta cheese out, which ricotta cheese is my favorite, so I'm probably going a little heavy-handed, but it's delicious. So I'm just spreading that out as evenly as I can, and then it's time to put on all the toppings. So I'm putting on the plums, and then I'm also putting on the onions, which the onions were my favorite part. So I put on a lot of those. Then I'm going to take the sliced almonds and just put those on top. Then I am drizzling the honey on Bradley's. I didn't want honey, but he said it was really good. So I'm drizzling that, and then I'm just taking the arugula and hand tossing a little bit of it on top of each pizza, and then we're just cutting it into thirds, and that's it. It's this delicious, amazing, sweet and savory pizza, which is good for breakfast or lunch or even dinner. Okay, so our breakfast it's brunch is what it is.
Brunch.
Is ready. And
Where's
I'm
my mimosa?
Really excited to taste. They said to use the leftover arugula as like the nice salad. We tossed some leftover almonds in there as well. Dude.
Yes?
It's so good. Next up for lunch, we have the chicken parm salad with baby spinach and creamy lemon dressing, which was also really delicious. So you're going to be needing some garlic powder, some baby potatoes, some sour cream. You're going to be needing 2 chicken breasts, some Parmesan, some panko breadcrumbs, some baby spinach, and a lemon. So we're going to start by getting our potatoes in the oven. So I just washed them all, and now I am dicing them up into these little chunks, trying to make them as even as possible so I get an even cook on all of them. So I'm just going to finish dicing them all up, moving them to a sheet tray with some parchment paper, and again, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I'm just going to toss it with my hands, again, laying it all out flat so everything cooks evenly, popping that into a 450-degree oven for about 25 minutes, but tossing halfway. Then in a small bowl, I'm going to add the panko breadcrumbs and the shredded Parmesan.
Stop eating the cheese.
Which was clearly delicious, but I'm just adding those, the garlic powder, some salt and pepper, and mixing it all up. And this is kind of like the dry rub, if you will, for the chicken. So I'm just gonna get that all mixed together. Then before I get started on the chicken, it was time to take out the potatoes and toss them halfway. So I'm doing just that, spreading them back out and putting them back in the oven for another 12-ish minutes. Then I'm gonna get going on the chicken breasts. I put them in between 2 pieces of parchment paper, and I'm just going to flatten them out with a skillet or a rolling pin, whatever you got, just to make them as thin as possible, which was a struggle for me, but we eventually got there. Once they're flattened out, we're going to season them with some salt and pepper, and then we're going to take that sour cream and put about a tablespoon per chicken breast on top of it, and then we're going to spread it out, and this is going to act as a binding situation for that topping we made before. So I'm just going to spread that out as evenly as possible, and then I'm going to sprinkle that cheese and panko breadcrumb topping on top, and then I'm going to take my fingers and press it into that sour cream so we get a nice golden crust. Then I'm transferring it to a baking sheet and putting it into that 450-degree oven for about 15 minutes or until it's done. Then it was time to take out the potatoes, which look amazing. I love oven roasted potatoes, so I'm just letting those cool, and in the meantime, while the chicken is cooking, I am going to assemble my salad. So I'm going to cut the lemon in half. I'm going to use half of the lemon for garnish on the plate, but the other half we'll use in the dressing. So I'm taking the rest of the sour cream, half of a lemon juice, some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and just whisking that up, and it's so creamy and lemony and delicious. So then I'm taking my baby spinach and just putting it into a bowl, which again, should have used a bigger bowl, but oh well. Then I'm adding the potatoes on top of that, and then I'm just going to drizzle the creamy lemon dressing on top and toss it all together. This is the base of our salad, obviously, and it's so good. I love this dressing. So again, should have used a bigger bowl. Then the chicken is done, so I'm going to pull it out, let it cool for a little bit, and then I'm just going to plate up. I'm going to get some spinach, make sure I get a hefty helping of potatoes, and then I'm just going to put the chicken breast on top, and oh my gosh, you guys, this was so good. The topping was amazing. Okay guys, we're all plated up and ready. Oh, but wait, I gotta squeeze my lemon. Guess Bradley's going first. You're not in focus. Is it good? Is your chicken done?
Oh my god, that's good.
And last but certainly not least for dinner, we have the GREMOLATA strip steak with cauliflower mash and heirloom tomatoes. So you're going to be needing some tomatoes, 2 cloves of garlic, a lemon, some baby potatoes, some pine nuts, some sour cream, some parsley, my favorite, some cauliflower florets, and some New York strip steak. So we're gonna start with our potatoes so we can get them in a pot of boiling water with the cauliflower. So I'm just peeling them, and then I'm going to dice them up, kind of similar to the last recipe, just in smaller chunks so that they cook faster and evenly with the cauliflower. So once those are all diced up, I'm going to put them in some boiling water with the cauliflower florets as well, and just let them boil together for about 15 minutes until they're fork tender. And then I'm just going to prep a lot of my ingredients. So I'm going to chop up my parsley, I'm going to mince both of my cloves of garlic, I'm going to have my lemon, and then I'm also going to have my heirloom tomatoes. I'm also going to prep my pine nuts by toasting them in a pan, and you just want to get them lightly browned. You kind of know when they're done when you can smell them. And then I'm going to take those off to let them cool and add in some oil and my little tomatoes and some garlic, and the smell of this, you guys, was incredible. I also added some salt and pepper, and I'm just cooking those until they're tender. And then I'm going to take those off and let them cool as well. I just put them in a small little bowl because we want that exact same pan to use for our steak, which we pat dry with a paper towel and seasoned with salt and pepper. And oh my god, yum! I love steak. Those are gonna cook for about 2 to 3 minutes per side, or however long you like it cooked. But then we are going to prepare the GREMOLATA, which we're gonna chop up the pine nuts as finely as you want, add them to a small bowl with the parsley, the rest of our minced garlic, some salt and pepper, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and the juice of half of a lemon. And HelloFresh described this as pesto's rustic cousin. It has very similar flavors to it. It's just a little bit chunkier and, again, more rustic. So after I mix that up, I'm going to flip the steaks. Oh my gosh, yum. That is so satisfying. Then it is time to prepare the cauliflower mash. So I'm just going to drain the mixture. Then I'm going to add in the sour cream, a tablespoon of butter, about 1/4 cup of water, and then some salt and pepper, which we added garlic salt just because that's what we like, but do whatever you want. And then we're going to just mash them up. And then after that, it is time to take the steaks off. We let them rest for about 5 to 10 minutes just to keep the juices inside. And then Bradley sliced them up against the grain. He's the meat master around here. He does all of our grilling and such. So then I'm going to plate up the cauliflower mash, put some of the heirloom tomatoes on top, then plate up the steak and drizzle some of that GREMOLATA over it. And oh my gosh, you guys, I wish this was in front of me right now. I would devour it. Oh, and then we're going to top all of it off with some parsley. I'm gonna do a tomato first with some mash. And tomatoes with garlic was the greatest idea I've ever heard of, and I'm gonna do it every day for the rest of my life. I've never had mashed cauliflower before. This is really good. Going in for the steak with the fancy pine nut things on top. This is amazing! Really good, huh? Mm-hmm. Bradley refuses to take off his apron.
Part of the meal experience.
Okay. Okay guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which recipe you want to try down below. Don't forget Amy Lynn 30 for $30 off your first box. I will have the link down below in the description and everything you need to know. And I love you guys. Please subscribe. You can click my little face right there. I'll have some other things to click all around the screen. And I love you, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!